Good morning, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Google+. This is Rich again, back for your first video blog of the day for Monday, May 16, 2016, around 7:32 in the morning, Berwick, Massachusetts. It's sunny out right now. It looks like a pretty day, but don't let you fool you. It's cold. It's about in the mid-40s. It feels more like early April than mid-May. And today's only going to be around 60, so it's a below average day. But it's going to get better over the week with temperature-wise. And this upcoming weekend could be in the 70s and above average temperatures for the rest of the month. 80s and 90s just around the corner. Wait and see. Some news to report. St. Louis Blues beat the San Jose Sharks by a score of 2-1 to go up 1-0 in the Western Conference Finals for the NHL. And the Minnesota Timberwolves player Karl Anthony Towns is going to be named NBA Rookie of the Year, and ABC is considering reviving the classic Edmund game show Password. And that's about it on news. My first video blog subject of the day is about Starrcade 1984, the second annual pay-per-view. Well, it was not pay-per-view. It was on closed-circuit TV. It happened Thanksgiving night, November 22nd, 1984, at the Greensboro Coliseum in Greensboro, North Carolina. The main event was for the NWA World title. It was Nature Boy Ric Flair defending his title against the American Dream Dusty Rhodes. It was billed the $1 Million Tat Challenge. And the announcers for the show were Gordon Soley, who was drunk, and Bob Cotto, longtime voice of Mid-Atlantic Championship Wrestling, and it was shown on closed-circuit television throughout the Southeast. And here's the matches. The first match was for the NWA Junior Heavyweight Championship. It was Mike Davis, who was the defending NWA Junior Champion, and he was hypnotized as the American Dream Dusty Rhodes, facing off against Downtown Denny Brown. It was a great opening match. Denny Brown beats Mike Davis for the 1-2-3 to win the NWA Junior Heavyweight Championship. The next match was Brian Adidas facing off against Mr. Aito, and this was like a kind of a squash match. Brian Adidas wins in about 4 minutes. He was getting a decent push in Mid-Atlantic Championship Wrestling at this time. He became later feuding with the Von Erichs in World Class Championship Wrestling as a heel, and Brian Adidas was legitimately friends with the Von Erichs in real life. The third match on this card was the Florida Heavyweight Champion Jesse Barr defending the Florida Championship against Mike Graham. And this was a back and forth match. Jesse Barr cheats to retain the Florida Heavyweight Championship. The next match was an elimination tag team match. It was the Assassin #1 and Buzz Tyler. This was one of the few times the Assassin would be a face. He had a falling out with Mr. One Paul Jones at this time, and they faced off against the Zambui Express, which was Muhammad and Akeem, and Mr. One Paul Jones was the manager of the team. And what was the highlight of this match, Buzz Tyler comes out to the theme music Footloose because of the movie. But you will not hear that when you watch it on the WWE Network because it's been dubbed over. The Assassin and Buzz Tyler won this elimination match. Nothing too spectacular about this match. The next match was for the NWA Brass Knuckles Championship. It was Black Bart, who was the reigning NWA Brass Knuckles title, and he was with James J. Dillon, facing off against Manny Fernandez, the Raging Bull. And this match, the winner of the match would have to knock out their opponent with brass knuckles, which in any other match, if you use brass knuckles in the referee's sight, you're automatically disqualified, but the brass knuckles were legal in this match. Manny Fernandez used the brass knuckles on Black Bart to win the NWA brass knuckles title. The next match was a tuxedo match, and it was a losers leaves town tuxedo match. It was Mr. One Paul Jones facing off against the Boogie Woogie Man Jimmy Valiant, and the Boogie Woogie Man Jimmy Valiant and Paul Jones had a long running feud, and it was like a back and forth match, but Paul Jones cheats to win. He rips off Jimmy Valiant's tuxedo and he's just in his underwear. Paul Jones wins. Jimmy Valiant has to leave Mid-Atlantic for a while. He was going to Memphis to the CWA at this time, so he couldn't come back as Charlie Brown from out of town. But Jimmy Valiant would return to Mid-Atlantic Championship Wrestling to continue his feud with Mr. One Paul Jones and his army, which was a 2-year feud. The next match was for the Mid-Atlantic Heavyweight Championship. It was Cowboy Ron Bass, who was the reigning champion, with his manager James J. Dillon facing off against Dirty Dick Slater, who turned face. And this was kind of a rough house match, back and forth. Ron Bass beats Dick Slater by disqualification to retain the NWA Mid-Atlantic Championship, and it was an okay match. The next match was a tag team match. It was Ivan Koloff and his nephew Nikita Koloff facing off against Ole Anderson and Keith Larson. And Keith Larson was substituting for his real life brother Don Cornetto, who was injured by Ivan and Nikita after they turned on him. And this match was a decent match, but in the end Ivan and Nikita won because I think Nikita pinned Keith Larson, who was inexperienced. The next match was for the NWA television title, and this was an awesome match. It was the NWA TV champion Tully Blanchard facing off against Ricky the Dragon Steamboat. Tully Blanchard put up $10,000 of his own money, and Ricky Steamboat put $10,000 of his own money. So the winner would have got the NWA TV title and $20,000. And this was probably the highlight this was probably the best match on the card because it was back and forth. Steamboat had some near pinfalls, and Blanchard had some near pinfalls, but in the end, Tully Blanchard cheats to win and retain the television title, and he's $20,000 richer. But that's kayfabe. I doubt that either Blanchard or Steamboat got paid $20,000 for this card. The next match was for the United States Heavyweight Championship. It was Chief Wahoo McDaniel, who is a heel, facing against superstar Billy Graham. He was still in his kung fu gimmick, his karate gimmick, which was awful and stuff. He would do this. He would do a kung fu thing, which was awful. And this was when Billy Graham was heavy on the drugs. And superstar Billy Graham was a heel at this time, but he was not accompanied to the ring by Mr. One Paul Jones, which that was his manager in the Atlantic Championship Wrestling. And superstar Billy Graham came out to the ring with this theme song. Everybody was kung fu fighting. He was fast as lightning. But you won't hear kung fu fighting if you watch it on the WWE Network, because that music is dubbed over by genetic music. And this was about a 5-minute match. It was real awful. Superstar Billy Graham played the de facto face, and superstar Billy Graham put Wahoo McDaniel in the Phil Nelson, and he almost won the U.S. title, but Wahoo punches him and pins him 1, 2, 3. Just an awful match. This was, the semi-final main event, which was very, very awful. Wahoo's heel turn was not good, and superstar Billy Graham at this time was very, very poor because he was heavy on drugs. And the main event for this match was for the NWA World Championship, and the winner would get $1 million. It was the Nature Boy Ric Flair, the NWA World Champion, facing off against the American League Dream Dusty Rhodes, and the special guest referee was former boxing World Heavyweight Champion Smoking Joe Frazier. And they had 3 judges in case this match went to a time limit draw: Joe Frazier, Duke Komodo, and Kyle Petty. And this match was only about a 12-13 minute match. It was, stalling back and forth. Ric Flair opens up a cut on Dusty Rhodes' head, and he's bleeding, and then Joe Frazier had to stop the match in about 12 minutes, and Ric Flair retains the NWA World Championship, and he also gets $1 million. He probably didn't get paid $1 million, but this was the selling point of the card. And afterwards, Dusty Rhodes was getting mad. He almost wanted to knock out Joe Frazier, but a lot of the wrestlers in the back held him down, held him so he couldn't knock him out. It would have been something if Dusty Rhodes knocked out Joe Frazier. Probably Gordon Soley would say, "Down goes Frazier, down goes Frazier, down goes Frazier." Gordon Soley was probably drunk calling this Starrcade 1984, and this was his last time he would ever call a Starrcade play-by-play. And what did I think about this Starrcade 1984? It was very, very disappointing. Most of these matches are pass. The only good ones I could think it probably is the Tully Blanchard versus Dragon match. That was pretty good. And the Ric Flair Dusty Rhodes match. You get great ones out of this, but this one was probably the poorest because of the finish. And the rest of the matches were like kind of average. So I would give this a C+. And that's about it on that. Tomorrow I'll be revealing Starrcade 1985 The Gathering, which was held in 2 locations: Greensboro at the Coliseum and the Omni in Atlanta. 2 more video blogs coming your way today. First one will be about the preview of the 2016 NBA Conference Finals, Eastern Conference and Western Conference. And third and final video blog of the night will be my personality profile. Tonight's personality profile is ABC's Good Morning America newsreader, Amy Robot. Keep calm, everybody. I'm a Julie Wedding guy. Molly Rose Blood of WCCO. Excellent, nice legs. Elizabeth Hart, so stunning. She's the best. She's awesome. Amy Swansea's so awesome. Linda Church of WPIX New York is a stunning dresser, and she's got nice legs. And in the words of Sean Lucha, get out. See you later, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Google+.